Hello everybody and welcome to episode 2 of Nadeko Reacts to Nadeko, Electric Boogaloo Among Us Edition. You don't get to see Nadeko react to Nadeko every day, do you? Right. What do you have to say to that, Nadeko?
Nothing, Koyami-chan.
Wait. What? No wonder why my model keeps glancing at you like you're about to stab me with a knife. Also, by the way, guys, if you're just here for the reaction, I have everything timestamped so you can skip over to that because this intro might be a bit long. Firstly, I want to address a few comments and a few answers to a question that I previously asked, and also, there might be something a little bit different about me. I don't know. I'm not really sure what that's about, but yeah. I want to talk about those things before we get into the episode. And also, yes, maybe play a little game. I wonder what it is. Right. So, first off, there was a comment. Let's just go through some comments first, right? Benjamin Lee writes, the thing about rice warding the zombies. Gosh, I haven't brushed up on old Chinese folk stories for a while. But if I recall correctly, people used to put rice in front of doorsteps to ward off zombies. I think the idea was that the rice will satisfy the hunger of the zombies so that the zombies won't enter the house, something like that. I do recall something similar to this in like some of the old Chinese dramas that my mom used to watch when I was a kid. It was kind of strange, like around the time when World War Z came out, and then she was also watching the Chinese dramas, I was thinking something like, why don't they just, give the zombies rice? I can just imagine it. Like thousands of zombies, they come running at you, right? And then you just like put down one onigiri, and then they all stop. And they're like, ningen, arigatou gozaimasu, sayonara. And then the world was saved, and that's how World War Z ended. That would actually probably be a better movie than it actually is, to be honest.
Imagine, I've been consuming Resident Evil stuff recently. Imagine Resident Evil 7 ending like that. The best way to end it was just give the zombies rice.
Don't fight, no violence. Rice solves everything.
Purity. Rice purity test.
Also, I believe I asked a question regarding, pausing during a reaction. And Aeonix and Niku, they gave me some answers, and I've been thinking about it. So I've come to the conclusion that if it's something major, like, Kiwi says, Xero, I gotta go out to buy something from the store for my mom or something like that. Of course, that I'll just cut out, and then it'll be a seamless cut, like I have been doing. But if it's something like Kiwi just randomly, suddenly realizing something that is really obvious to everybody watching, but not to Kiwi, and it's really, really funny, I will keep that in. Of course, situations like that won't happen very often. At least I hope not. So, if it's not too disruptful and it doesn't happen too often, I'll just keep it in for the giggles and laughs.
You were gonna say for the lulz.
I wanted to, but then I thought better of it because I'm not a zoomer like you guys are. So
Cerby is a millennial.
Well, Cerby's the last millennial, so she's technically also kind of the first zoomer, if you think about it like that. It really depends on where your perspective is. Yeah.
Cerby is special.
But yeah, if it's too disruptive, but it's still funny, right? Then I'll take Aeonix's idea and just cut it to like maybe the last part of the episode, or I might even make like a short out of it or something. It really depends on the context.
Like always.
But I will do my best. I'll do my best to make sure that it's not disruptive to your viewing experience and that you guys don't have to pause too often. The third thing is, yes, I'm glad that you guys noticed that I got a haircut. I think I look a lot better this way. And yeah, I got a haircut at my local barber, and I just said, Tim the Trips. What am I even talking about? Trim the tips. Yes, that's what I was saying. And now,
how is it? But how is it that you went to trim your trips? What?
Yeah. Let's go, baby. Now it's my turn, Kiwi. It's my turn to make you mispronounce things. Oh man.
Best debut ever.
So yeah, go on, Kiwi, go on.
How is it that you went to trim your tips
and
ended up having longer hair than you did in the past?
This was a good fucking barber. That's all I can say. I think she may.
Isn't he a bad barber? Or she, if they made your hair longer, don't you go to the barber to make your hair shorter?
You can get extensions.
Yeah, you can get extensions and make yourself look more fabulous. Did you not know?
I mean, in Croatia, that's against the law. Unless you have cancer,
what?
So I didn't know.
What?
What? Wait, what? What is this? What kind of country is Croatia? What the fuck?
You're illegal to get hair extensions?
I think. Because I asked for some and they told me they can't do it. Because I don't have cancer.
I think they might have been joking with you, because that's one moment,
a bad
please.
Joke.
Yeah, why would they joke about something like that?
Okay, well, Croatia is weird. Moving on.
Are hair extensions?
Yes, so I have lost one dimension. And I have now become a 2D model. However, I do really like the change because
You lost all movement and Xero lost a dimension.
Well, at this rate, we'll just be like circles reacting to stuff later on. But I really like this change because the model can do a lot more things. I think it looks a lot more interesting than my 3D model that I made myself. And I'm not exactly an artist, so it looked really plain. But yeah, this model was created by Cerby here, so show your love to Cerby in the comments below. I think it looks fabulous. I want to know what you guys think about it too.
Make sure you show off the bottles at your hips.
Wait.
You have to jiggle them. The bottles at your hips. Jiggle them. Jiggle them a minute.
I have bottles at my hips? Wait, what? You know what? I'm not gonna move my. I already set this thing up. Okay. Well, maybe we'll do that in another video if I do have them. I'm pretty sure I don't. But anyways, guys. Oh God. So yeah, I have gained the mystical power to put on glasses without using my hands. It's amazing, really. This new gravitational technology developed by our lab is.
I'm the one putting them on. He's just lying to you. I'm the one who has like a fishing rod at the side, so that you can't see me move. Just putting them on and taking them off.
Well, I mean, we can kind of see Kiwi, both of Kiwi's hands. Oh my God, Kiwi's Kiwi. I was gonna say that Kiwi's just using a massive dong. To put on my glasses.
Is that the lure you want, Xero? Is that the lure you want?
I don't, but I don't know why I keep going there. Firstly, it's a dong timer, and now it's a dong glasses. No, thank you. Why? Why does my brain do this?
I just thrust my hips to Xero's face and put some glasses.
God. So anyways, yeah, I can take off my coat too. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I can make my glasses mysteriously disappear. Oh, I have magic. Yeah, great. I love it. And I'll be using this model from now on. I hope you guys don't mind, and hopefully you guys like the change too. Right.
No, I hate it. Go back.
Well, sorry. I like it, and I don't care about your opinion. I only care about your opinion if it agrees with my own. Last thing that we're gonna do is a little game.
I'm scared.
Don't worry, it's nothing serious. You're actually not really a part of this as much as I'd like it to be, but I got to thinking, right? When Kiwi asked me, like, oh, then what is Cerby's direct comparison in Monogatari, right? And it got me to thinking, Like, do we have a direct comparison to a particular character in Monogatari? So what I wanted to do is I wanted to create a sort of discussion around who do you think this person is the closest to, right? So of course, Kiwi, we already know Kiwi. The answer was incredibly obvious right from the get-go.
Yes,
But-
Kami-chan, you're correct.
But for me and Cerby, I feel like that might be a little up in the air. So, firstly, I want to have the other people like make their suggestions as to who you think that person is very similar to, and then we'll have that person say who they think they're the most similar to. And later on in the story, we might discover whether our ideals were correct or not, and if anything is spoilery, I just won't say it, of course. Since I am obviously the one that knows the spoilers, we'll start off with Cerby. So, Kiwi, who do you think Cerby's Monogatari character is? Out of the ones that we know of.
For
There's still
me,
more that we're going to meet. Yeah.
I think that Cerby is kind of like the mix of the girl that has like super long sleeves
Yeah.
and Kambaru's cousin.
Kambaru's cousin. You're talking about Gaian?
One that
Gaian senpai?
Yeah, Gaian senpai.
Yeah,
I think that she's kind of a mix of that. The two of them. I don't know, like a certain character that just pinpoints Cerby towards.
You think Cerby's like the cool, hipster One-chan type?
Yes. Come and say ara.
Ara.
Oh my god, all of our subscribers just left. Ara. Alright.
I mean, I think of Cerby as like this weird big sister, reliable type, right?
Yeah. Well, I agree with that from your perspective.
Yes, from my perspective.
Yeah.
Suggestive, you know?
Well, it is your opinion, so you're not wrong in your opinion, of course.
Yes, I am not.
It's just, I can't say that for me, when I view Cerby, I guess the character that I would relate her to, if I had to pick two characters, the first I'd probably pick Ogi as well, which is the girl with long sleeves that you talked about.
Yeah.
I won't elaborate on the reasons why. Cerby might know this since she knows a few spoilers about Ogi, but for Kiwi's sake, I won't elaborate. And probably Hachikuji, from my perspective.
I'm okay with this.
Okay. Actually. She does fit Hachikuji more, but I'm not stepping down from Ganyu. I really Cerby is a bit like a big sister for me, so.
Yeah, I completely understand that. I'm sure people watching us understand that too. But to me, Cerby looks like a mix between Ogi and Hachikuji. Like, every time I talk to Cerby, I kind of feel like sometimes Cerby just the kind of character that's like happy to be there when I'm editing our videos. And I feel like Hachikuji's pretty much that girl. Like, she's the girl that's really cheerful and just really happy to be there, just to be part of it, you know? At least when we edit the Danganronpa videos, that's just the vibe that it gives me. But yeah, what about you, Cerby? Who do you think of as yourself?
I like the combination of Hachikuchi and Ogi. I'll take that.
All right. Well, do you have your own reasons for that combination?
It's kind of the same lines as what you guys said. I think Hachikuchi's kind of a free spirit, kind of a silly gremlin, and I think I fit that. I don't know. You never really see Hachikuchi too upset. I don't get upset very easily.
Yeah, that was another point that I was thinking of. Hachikuji is just really happy-go-lucky. I think that's the right word for a character. There is another character that I used to describe that though, but yeah. Right. Well, now I guess it's my turn then. What do you guys think is my character out of the people that we already know of?
Okay, I'll
there
start
is
so I
one
don't get
character, but-
accused. I'll start so I don't get accused of just going with what Cerby says.
Okay.
Right? So, in my head, you were like 3 different characters, right?
Oh, holy shit. I'm a chimera.
You're a chimera. Okay. Because I can't just, I don't know about all of the, about one specific characters, everything about them, so I can't just point them towards my
this is
character. So just
understandable. Of
make
course,
a mix.
this is from the characters that we know of at the moment, and the stories about them that we know of, yeah.
Yeah, right. So 3 points. You how honest you are, how perverted you are,
Wait,
and
what?
who's the one you remind me the most of. So your horniness reminds me of Koyomi, right?
Okay.
How honest you are reminds me of the, I forgot her name, the girl with blue hair that has trash on her head. Would she even be
Yotsuki?
considered as someone? Would she even be considered someone who's super honest? I'm not sure. And Meme.
Meme.
But
I'll
that's
take
just
that.
me. That's just me. That's just the side of me.
Well, yeah, from your perspective, I am Meme.
Yeah.
Aren't
You are
I?
Meme. You are Meme.
I agree
Also-
on one of those.
Well, technically,
Koyomi
also, I am Koyomi Oni-chan for...
You are Koyomi Oni-chan.
Oh my god. Actually, Kiwi's points make all too much sense from her point of view. Now I think about
The
it.
way I see Xero is the weird love child between Koyomi and Senjugahara.
Whoa!
Because
Wow.
you're kind of
Whoa!
That's such a
you've got kind of
compliment.
Senjugahara's smart but also sadistic tendencies.
Yeah.
You've got
Okay.
Koyomi's perviness and just kind of all around goofball. So if you kind of take those two sides and squish them together, then you get Xero.
You know, when I was thinking about myself, I never thought of this combination. But I'm actually really happy with that.
No,
Damn.
Sorry, I never thought of Senjugahara because Xero doesn't speak in not circles. Xero doesn't speak in different paths to get to the point that he wants. He's really on point with what he wants to say.
That's the Koyomi coming in.
I see.
My father is influencing me. But I still retain the sass from my mother and her harsh mouth. I'm really happy with that. I didn't think of this for me, but from my perspective, there is one character that I really relate to, and she is my favorite character. However, we have not met her yet. So, from the characters that we know of currently, I would say that I relate myself to Kanbaru the most.
You read BL?
All right, well, not that part. I relate to her because 1, of course, the perviness. 2, because she's the athlete that exercises all the time. And 3, because she's very much like me, and she would rather hang out naked at home than put on clothes. Which, believe it or not, guys, I'm actually not wearing anything right now at this moment. And I am so glad that I'm a VTuber. That I don't have to wear anything on record.
TMI.
If Xero ever had to if he were live streaming and had the slip up before he accidentally turns on his webcam, it would be a disaster.
It would. You guys would see my nipples. It would not be a good time. Of course, that's just from the characters that we know of. I feel that there's one more character that some of you guys in the comments might be able to think of. But yeah, I am interested to know though, for you guys who made it to this part of the video anyways, whether you feel like there's a particular character in Monogatari that you can relate yourself to. Of course, leave your answers in the comments below. I'd love to know.
Yeah, Nadeko wants to know too. Tell Nadeko.
Nobody's gonna
I'll
comment
never
that.
drop this. I'll never drop this. I'll never drop it.
All right.
I'll forever act like Nadeko.
You did act like
was-
Nadeko, though. Nadeko doesn't talk like that.
Wait,
Oh.
wait.
After this 20-minute long intro, we're finally ready to get into the episode. Of course, you guys know what to do. Open up your own copy of the episode, sync it up with the timer that's going to appear within Kiwi's hands at the end of my countdown, and let's enjoy Monogatari. Right. I'm going to start the episode in 3, 2, 1. Play.
She looks like a princess.
Her room is very, very pink.
I like that. I can relate to that. My room would also be pink if I had one of my own.
I wonder why.
He laughs like a One Piece character.
Oh
Like a
my
buggy.
god.
He laughs like a buggy.
Oh, wait, what was that character?
The clown.
Caesar.
I know that's
Was it?
Caesar.
Caesar laughs like, no.
Oh, the egg guy.
More zombies.
All the zombies.
Oh, while I was on my way home from Croatia, I was listening to the Nadeko opening on loop.
I know. It's fucking good. You know, I'm actually gonna make it a point to say that at the start of the OP for this particular arc. Yes. Actually, I'm going to
You
say
say
that
this
at
for
the
every
start of
opening ever,
the
Xero.
OP, at every episode, at every arc. Yeah. It's gonna be a while till we get to my favorite OP, but I still love everyone. I love you all.
And not me.
The world is just so colorful from Nadeko's perspective.
Funny by contrast, this is the most desaturated we've seen.
Yeah. Kiwi is going to feel attacked throughout the entire arc. And I'm going to call out Kiwi whenever I can.
Like he was just like, oh, I'm quiet like you, and I instantly felt called out. I'm not quiet, but no, I'm quiet, but
You're quiet. I'm a calm, shy, quiet girl. I'm going to enjoy this very much.
Yes, you are, you bully.
I mean, I am Koyomi and Senjokuhara's love child. Oh.
You're their love child, and I'm older than you. You have to respect me.
No. Exactly, because I'm their love child, I won't respect anybody. See? Kiwi? Does this remind you of anybody?
The helix shaped stairs, those are cool.
Yeah. Almost like two snakes quarreling.
You see, my brain went to the medical symbol, but that's also two snakes, so like I guess
it is.
yes.
Love how she is getting called out for saying Tonikaku. And then she immediately diverts the subject by saying Tonikaku. Yeah, the shrine is Kita Shirahebi Shrine. Well, I should say the full thing, Kita Shirahebi Jinja. I just mix in English at the end. This room seems like the perfect room for Kiwi.
It's lacking in plushies that
The bear
and the danger
looks
of
like
me
the
dying.
character we can't talk about, though.
Oh. Yeah. Oh my god, I never noticed that. Okay, it's not a direct reference, but it kind of does look like it. You're wearing a similar hat.
I don't use in any case or stuff like that as much as Nadeko does.
If you're wondering what we're talking about, it's from that one time travel anime that I can't mention. Tonikaku. In any case, yes.
I don't speak so formally.
Yes. You're not somebody who says I'm sorry all the time in order to divert your attention. Okay. I'm sorry, Kiwi. I'm having too much fun.
It sounded like a death threat more than anything. You'll find out who you're reincarnated as soon. Don't worry.
Sure. Kamimashita.
Gaslighting her.
I love how the snake talks. Usoda. Aww.
I hate this. I hate this.
Does this remind you of someone? I like how Kiwi's just squirming over there in the
I was
corner.
gonna say, this is great commentary from Kiwi of just uncomfortable noises.
I don't like this. I like Nadeko, but I don't like her situation.
Maybe it reminds you of something that has recently happened in your life.
ダメてください。
I will not be silenced. It's really irresponsible of the teacher to just dump everything on the class president.
Mhm.
I'm incompetent as a teacher to fix this situation, so you do it. That does bring up an interesting talking point, though, which I'll discuss at the end. Very sneaky.
This deposing. Yeah, this isn't something I would do. Unrelatable.
Kiwi's trying her best to distance herself from Nadeko as much as she can.
To be fair, Kiwi, I don't think this is something Nadeko would do normally either.
Oh.
Cerby, don't bring up wild points.
How dare you bring up valid arguments with using logic and reason?
And that's
Oh, this reminds me of the Japanese song. Being like, Kagame, Kagame.
Not familiar with it, suddenly. That's quite an otaku way to put it. She's really good at making those sandcastles.
What was that? What was that pose she did?
It's all just a big JoJo reference. what is Koyomi doing?
No.
He's just preying on his little sister while she's sleeping. Goes extinct. Actually, I found the translation for that line funny, but now that I met Kiwi, maybe there's just a race of Nadekos out there.
Don't treat me like I'm a dodo.
Are you referring to dodo birds?
Yes.
I see.
You're not extinct though, Kiwi. You're still here.
That's true.
But I can go extinct by a simple influence from a human.
I think anything can.
You're closer to the axolotl that only has like less than 1,000 left in the wild.
I like that comparison. I'll keep it.
Most of them have been bred in like 2 facilities, and they're also extremely inbred and have fire salamander mixed into them.
I don't like this anymore.
A single disease will wipe them all out.
You hear that, Kiwi?
ダメてください.
Axolotls are also neonates, which means they're babies forever.
I like this.
What is... All right, back to Monogatari.
I'm full of axolotl facts, Xero.
I know you are.
She's talking to her hand like Shinichi talks to Migi.
Oh, Parasite reference. Oh.
No. Stay away.
And she looks really happy about that, though, Kiwi.
No,
I don't
no.
know.
I'm not concerned about Nadeko's well-being. I'm concerned about Koyomi's well-being.
I think they're already gonna have a problem with you letting her sleep in your room.
It. Oh god. Kyuketsuki punch. Fatality. Oh god.
Hello, Shinobu. Shinobu's great.
Yes, she is. She's about to become even better. Yes. Mm.
Okay.
You might want to listen to this one though, Kiwi.
Mhm.
Why do they all live like One Piece characters in this episode? Discrimination. Zero, after this episode, can you just make a compilation of all of Kiwi's noises?
Sure. For this particular one, I'll take that extra effort.
I hate this.
It's just dragging Koyomela.
I hate this.
Kiwi, are you okay? Breathe, Kiwi, breathe. You can't die on us now. You have to give us a good reaction.
I hate this. This is the worst. No.
I was like, when I watched this, I was like, holy shit. Shinobu. Damn. Best girl. She freaking called out Nadeko over everything, and my god, like Nadeko being the way that she is, being like devilish and everything, with the way that she kind of like victimizes herself in order to gain like mercy from others. It's just there probably is not a person like this that actually exists. And then I met Kiwi. Which is actually kind of interesting because
I don't
like-
need to victimize myself though.
I don't think Nadeko necessarily
Nadeko-
means to either.
yes, that's the thing, right? That she's not really consciously making a decision to do that in order to gain an advantage. That's just how she is.
It just kind of happens, right?
I think you're
people would
understanding
be
Nadeko more than I
attacking-
ever will.
People are attacking me, and then all of a sudden there's someone else who's like, "Oh, she's like that," and then they stand by my side, and I become the victim, even if I was the perpetrator. I don't mean it to happen. It just kind of happens. This is making me understand that I maybe am a little bit cuter than I thought I was. It's building
Wait,
up my
that's-
ego while calling me out.
Wait a minute.
I hate
That's
it.
what you get
I
out of
hate
this?
I hate it. No, I hate it. I hate being called out by Shinobu of all people. I wasn't expecting Shinobu to be the one. I hate this.
I feel like nothing can quite explain the prisoner's dilemma as well as Xero escape.
I'm
You
going
okay,
to cry.
Oh my
Yes,
god.
I'm fine.
I don't. It doesn't sound like you're fine.
I just hate that an anime character is more relatable to me than anything else.
Well, what's the saying? Art imitates life. Obviously, Nisio didn't randomly make this character out of nowhere. There's obviously some sort of basis for this character and how this character will progress within the story and how they interact with other characters. That it has to be somewhat realistic to make it so that people who read his stories can relate to them. However, it's quite interesting that he got it really, really spot on, particularly for you. It's almost as if he passed you in the streets and I was like, oh, hey, well, that's a character I can make. I'm going to ask you guys then, and also you guys in the comment section. Do you know anybody like Nadeko? AKA like Kiwi? Because in my entire life, I might be kind of biased here because the group of people that I hang out with are like the cocky athletes. So we've never really met anybody like Kiwi. It's just really not someone you'd expect in this social group. But maybe there's more people like Kiwi out there. I don't know.
I've met people kind of like that, but not quite to the extreme of Kiwi or Nadeko.
So okay, I have kind of like a story, right?
Right.
So when I was young, up until 4th grade, we lived with my father's mother, my grandmother, together in one house, right? And so basically, I was told as a kid, and even now as like an adult, that I look a lot like my grandmother. And whenever I would fight with my mom always says, "You are just like your grandmother. You always make a victim of yourself. Like your personality and everything is just like your grandmother." And the thing about like the whole thing was that out of everyone in my house, even more so than her son, I would always spend my time with my grandmother. So one of my bigger traumas is when my grandma started getting dementia and started like being really sick, and she completely forgot about my existence. And one of my biggest regrets in my life is that I kind of distanced myself from my grandmother because she started getting on my nerves. Every time like I would try to tell her something or anything like that, she would like raise her voice, put on a pitch, and try to get my father on her side. So she started getting on my nerves. And so I kind of ended up fighting with her, and that was just like before she got really, really sick. to the point where she couldn't like stand up alone anymore, take care of herself anymore. She started getting dementia and forgot all about me. And yeah, that's like one of my biggest traumas, where she just walked out of her room, looked at my sisters and I, and started screaming for her sister to bring her back home, saying that we kidnapped her. Like, right? So I knew someone who was like Nadeko and who was like myself, where she would constantly apologize or try to get sympathy from someone else. Not on purpose. It just kind of happened, where the weaker and the smaller one would always somehow end up being the victim without them actually wanting to be the victim. So yeah, I guess I know someone like Nadeko. I also know myself, kind of. It was a rant, but I'm sorry. It's just something I had to mention. I'm shaking.
No, it's completely fine. That was actually quite interesting.
Maybe
A
my
lot for me
grandma
to
had
think
influence on my personality. Maybe my grandmother had like a biggest influence on my personality and how I perceive everything. It's
Yeah,
just that
Taught me is Nadeko is genetic.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking as well.
my grandma was like a really big traumatic event in my childhood that I was not expecting.
Yeah.
And so like one thing that my mom often tells me is that my parents decided to get my sisters and I to go onto her funeral, right? And out of everyone, I don't remember anything from it. That just tells you something. I remember nothing. I just remember to the point where we came to like the gravesite where they were supposed to put her in. And since my dad was a war veteran for Croatia, he had the rights to get like a band to play a certain song that's like in Croatian culture for like the dead, right?
Okay.
And so I remember that they started playing it, and after that everything is a blur. And my mom basically told me that the moment they put my grandmother into the grave, I started crying and throwing a tantrum, and they had to actually bring me out of the gravesite because they wouldn't let my grandma be buried. And I was crying for a whole day. That's what they tell me. I'm not sure if it's like true, but that's what I was told, that I was like really protesting against my grandmother getting buried, that I couldn't believe that she died. And
But
it took
you
me
just
quite a
don't
long
remember
time to
this?
accept it. No, I don't. I don't remember. I was in 4th grade and I don't remember my grandma getting buried. My mom also told me that during that time, after my grandmother died, I would often be like, oh, grandma is in her room, or mom, I don't want to sleep here, my grandma is in the room, or mom, I'm dreaming about grandma.
I think
That's
that's actually
told me.
not all uncommon from like, not PTSD, but like from traumatic experiences.
Yeah, so, and after that, even I had like a problem where like a little girl would keep on visiting me in my dreams, and I would not be able to sleep because of it, right? So I was quite very badly traumatized by the fact that my grandmother died, who I was really close to. And you could say that I kind of closed off and became really quiet. I was a quiet kid from the very beginning. I was just more extroverted, but after grandma died, I was just like not as much as I was. And then the whole bullying situation happened, which made me close off even more. So I ended up with this. Someone that apologizes often.
Well,
has social anxiety, is currently shaking while talking to her own friends.
Oh no, Kiwi. Of course, I don't want to talk too much about your personal life. Oh well, nothing that you're uncomfortable with. But I do feel like when you tell us these kind of stories, and then you like reference why you're like this is because something happens in the past. I think this happens quite often for you.
Yeah,
I feel like you're trying to reason out why you are the way that you are by referencing events in the past. But I also think that because of that, you're kind of stuck in the past a little.
I
of
mean,
course,
for me, kind of in my mind, I don't know why. It's just like that for me, where I need a reason to understand something, why this is a certain way.
No, that's a basic human mind.
Coping.
Yeah.
And so, if I don't understand it and I don't go over it, I will not be able to go past it, right? So I also know that I'm quite a person that's quite stuck in the past, and unable to move on. But I still kind of try to move away from it. Kind of.
Yeah.
I try to fix it, but because I keep on going towards what happened before and trying to fix it, I end up going back to where I was. I'm just I just put the past onto the side, if that makes any sense. So like this traumatic event with my grandmother, I don't go near the near mirrors during the night because I would often see my grandma in a mirror during the night, right? It's a really stupid example, but I try to stay away from something that traumatized me instead of moving past it or moving over it. I just swerve around it, right? Try to find a way to go about it. I just don't know how to fix that problem of mine. Like how Koyomi said, I run away instead of facing it straightforward, kind of, right? So I don't know. I have no idea how to fix that about myself. I try to fix it. I just don't know how to fix it. And because of that, I ended up the way that I am right now. Surprisingly, have a really good understanding of why I am the way I am. I just have no idea how to fix it.
It's actually really funny that you mentioned that you're going in this cycle of going back to the past and relating it back to the future, and that's exactly what we just did. And then we even ended on the same sentence too. And yeah, that's the reason why I am the way that I am now.
Yeah.
Actually,
I understand it. I just don't know how to like work with it. That's my point.
Yeah, I completely understand. And wow, I'm going to actually keep this entire rant, because the Monogatari viewers understand and they know. This is actually really, really relevant to this particular arc. And I genuinely hope that you can learn something from this and another arc about Nadeko in the future. I think that will actually solve a lot of problems for you. I genuinely
To be honest, I was hoping that like I know that it won't happen, because Nadeko's situation, while it is similar to mine, it's not the same, right? To be honest, before going to sleep, when we watched the first episode of Nadeko's arc, I was like thinking to myself, I wish that Nadeko's arc would just give me the answer to what I want to know. Like just give me a solution instead of me searching for it myself. And then I ended up stopping myself and thinking to myself like, that's very shitty. That's not a way to go about it, right?
Yeah, of course. So this Nadeko's situation isn't going to be a one-to-one to you. You weren't really the inspiration for Nisio Isino writing Nadeko, exactly. But
I hope I'm not.
That would be kind of strange. But
just jump to the future.
Both you and Cerby will be able to learn a lot from Nadeko's story. I won't say exactly what, but obviously we've known in the past that even character that you guys don't like Hanekawa, you can still relate to her on something, and you can still learn from her story about something.
I ended up liking Hanekawa. Hanekawa is good in my books. Not the best, but good.
Exactly. That's
I'll
character progression.
I'll probably end up crying to Nadeko, but I'll probably end up hating Nadeko.
I'm gonna be honest to you. Every single time I watch like the Semblance of Sanity Bros or Tiabu react to the ending of Nadeko's arc, I cry every single goddamn time. Like no joke. It's so good.
Cry, but I'll probably end up really disliking Nadeko because I'll relate to her too much, and I don't like myself.
Maybe
we'll
that
just
won't
have to see, I guess.
Yeah.
I said that I wouldn't like Hanekawa, and I ended up liking her.
Exactly. A few things that I wanted to talk about this episode. You did bring something interesting up that I said within the episode I was going to bring up into the discussion. The teacher is kind of gaslighting Nadeko in a way. I feel like that's something that Nadeko has kind of brought upon herself, in my opinion.
I feel like
because
there's no justification to the teacher's gaslighting. Like that's just wrong, and anyone could be susceptible to that. But because Nadeko is so kind of like, I'm gonna just call her kind of a pushover in that aspect.
Yeah. That
it's kind of this unfortunate matchup between gaslight and pushover creates Nadeko.
Yeah.
Or neither situation is good, and either one by themselves could result in a similar thing. But when you put the two together, it's just ultra unfortunate.
Yeah. We know that Nadeko became class president simply because nobody else wanted to be class president, so they just pushed everything onto Nadeko. And obviously because Nadeko's the pushover. We know that Nadeko obviously doesn't protest anything like this, she just accepts anything that comes her way. And this kind of behavior kind of, what's the word I'm looking for here? It lets people know that they can take advantage of you, therefore it encourages them to take advantage of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're giving a place for these gaslighters to have like an environment that they can work with. And so it brings out that behavior more out of other people.
Well,
when
like
in other cases it wouldn't be like that.
When you test the waters to see if you can get away with something, and then when you get away with it, then it's like, well, maybe I can push it just a little further, right? Because you already know you can get away with it.
Yeah.
If you say no, it creates conflict, and conflict creates drama, and drama gives attention, and that's why.
No, that's not true, though.
You're just
saying no sets a boundary.
Yeah.
This is actually really funny because what Kiwi just says is exactly what Nadeko thought during that particular situation. That yes, she says these things, these transitional words, right? Tonikaku. Anyways. Or like, in a particular situation where she feels uncomfortable, that she feels like, oh yeah, in this situation, I have to say sorry. I'm going to say I'm sorry. So that there won't be any sort of drama. There won't be any sort of conflict.
Yeah,
I get to remain the shy and quiet girl that I am, right?
Yeah, if you back off, then no problem will happen. Like, you'll just back off.
But that's the problem. The problem is that you think that there isn't going to be a problem, but by backing off, you're creating more problems for everybody
you're
and
opening
yourself.
the door for that situation to be taken advantage of.
Yes, exactly. People will know that you're a pussy, and they're gonna take advantage of you for being a pussy. Right? That's just it.
It is a problem because it can lead ultimately to some really dangerous outcomes. That's how a lot of girls end up getting sexually taken advantage of in other situations like that, which are actually very dangerous.
Yeah, it leads up to that, and this kind of behavior instigates other people to take advantage of you. Therefore, Nadeko is somebody who, in my opinion, victimizes her own victimization, I think is the way you would say that. Like, she perpetrates herself in a way. She makes other people make her into a victim. And that way she can gain sympathy from others. And that's how she decides to live her life. By making other people worry about her. When she says that she doesn't want Koyomi Oni-chan to worry about her, she doesn't really mean that, obviously. She wants him to worry about her. She wants him to help her, no matter what, and she wants him to look at her. She literally says this in the first arc, Nadeko's Snake, I think it was, that, yes, look at me, Koyomi Oni-chan, when she was, obviously, after that she got deep-throated by the invisible snake, but yeah. That was what she was saying, and that was what she was hoping. If we think back to even that arc, like, she was literally going around killing snakes, but she portrayed herself as the victim of this curse. And that's why, you know, she was going around murdering snakes, because she read a book about it that would help. Obviously, I can't say too much, don't want to spoil anything, but it's just interesting to bring up. Right, Nadeko, do you have anything to say for yourself?
Just don't understand it. I just truly don't. Like, I don't understand it.
I understand why you don't understand. That's just how you've been living your life, and that's how you've thought about, you know, in your social interactions and whatnot. From the countless number of stories that you've told me about how you know...
There's so many stories where I have been taken advantage of by people around me, right? Like, group projects.
That's an obvious one.
Since I never miss school or miss homework or anything, I'm considered a pretty good student, right? Even though my grades are not the best, I'm considered a good student. An honor student, so to say, right? So
Yeah.
I get put in a group with people who are not honor students, right? So that they also get a good grade. They end up doing nothing, and I have to do everything myself.
I've dealt with that many times too.
And even if I, in the past, whenever I ever go to the teacher and tell them like, oh, hey, I don't want to be with these people, or I don't want to do a group project like this because of this and this, etc. I would always be called either selfish or be told like, oh, you can do it, just talk to them, they'll do it as well. And then I would end up doing all of the work. And if I would remove their names from the projects or anything, they would get mad at me. That would create conflict. I would have to talk to the teacher about it. The teacher would stand on their side, telling me that it was not okay. And I would end up being in trouble because of it, right?
I think there's two comments on that. Is A, conflict does not equal bad. Conflict can be good. And B, sometimes it's the way you go about things. Like, if you just take their names off of the presentation without consulting anyone about that, it's like, that's more likely to bring up negative conflict because obviously they're going to be mad and the teacher's not going to understand why you did it. I think with everything that it all comes down to kind of how you choose to go about things, right? But if you just leave things as they are without, standing up or setting those boundaries, then you're going to continue in the situation like Nadeko, where you're just left in that position of everyone knows that you're going to do it if they say so. I mean, I've had to deal with very similar things, right? Because I like to consider myself a good person, so when people ask me to do things, I try and do it. I'm trying to be better about saying no when I need to say no, because that's important too.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm good at it, but I'm trying.
I mean, I think I already talked about this during the discussions, but I've come to the point of being like, oh, I'll only do something if the teacher tells me to do it, or if my friends asks me for help. Mm-hmm. Right? If it's not someone I'm close to, I will not help you out or even hear you out, which then makes me a bad person, right? But it's the only way that I can avoid any way where I would get taken advantage of, or where it would create really bad conflict to it. And if my teacher tells me to do something, then I just do it.
Right?
Right?
I think that comes down to how you address things. It's how you say no. But
Right.
And sometimes there's just no smooth way to do it. But
so I can relate to Nadeko quite a bit. The whole gaslighting teacher thing, I was groaning because it happened to me before. I don't like this arc. There's too much me in it. There's too much.
There's too much me in it. This sucks.
Yeah, I feel
0 out of
selfish.
10.
I feel selfish for talking about myself during a Nadeko arc, right? I hate this.
Well, I mean, you're talking about Nadeko technically when you're talking about yourself. Like, nobody understands Nadeko the way that Nadeko thinks more than you do. Like, I watched this so many times, and even I can't comprehend or fully appreciate Nadeko's mindset as much as you can. Somebody who's been living through that mindset their entire life, you know?
I don't
You have
know,
years worth of experience on this. You're a professional Nadeko. I respect that.
I don't understand. I
No,
don't
actually,
understand
you do
anything
fully
you guys
understand.
are talking about. I don't see anything wrong with how Nadeko handles things. Like, that's the whole point.
I think we've reached a point where we're going in circles again.
One thing that I do have to comment, though, on what you said, like, oh yeah, because I say no, this makes me a bad person. I don't think that saying that you're a good person or a bad person is exactly valid, because whether you're good or bad primarily depends on your perspective. Obviously, if you're doing something not doing something that someone wants you to do, then you're a bad person to them. But if you're doing something at the expense of yourself for somebody else, then you're also just being a bad person to yourself. Would that not be the logic there? You should also, first and foremost, be caring about yourself and taking care of yourself, looking out for yourself before you decide to go out and help other people. You should never help them at the cost of your own well-being.
isn't that kind of narcissistic though? Because you're putting
No.
yourself over everyone
No.
else.
No.
That's exactly what Nadeko thinks.
Looking
but
out
no,
for yourself
not the
is
way.
not narcissistic. Narcissism is when you put yourself in places that it shouldn't be.
You put yourself on a pedestal.
Yeah.
You think that you're a freaking god, like Light Yagami. That's narcissistic. I like how we're not really talking about the episode, but we're just talking about Kiwi's life. And we're generally, by talking about Kiwi's life, we're actually talking about the episode and the entire arc as a whole. I love this discussion so much because it's so abstract, yet it makes so much sense. I believe there was one scene here where Kiwi commented, like, wait, what was that pause? You know, there was that, I won't say the colors.
It was
But that
gray.
desaturated
It
scene.
was grayish. Yeah, it was grayish where Nadeko put fingers on her lips.
Yeah, what do you think?
Was it like her victim? Like her? Ugh. My tics are activating because I feel weird.
Yeah, this particular scene. Why do you think they randomly just cut to this scene? What feeling does this scene give you?
I'll start first because I always end up agreeing with Cerby at the very end.
Okay, yeah, solid logic. Go on.
So I don't want to think, because you keep on comparing me to Nadeko, that she was like thinking of a way to make herself, like planning a way to make herself look victimized or weak in this situation, right? But
What was she
maybe
talking about
the
leading
snake-
up to this? I can't quite remember. Because she was talking to the snake, right?
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah. Maybe the snake and her have some kind of plan to get Kurumi on her side, to do something for her, maybe find the corpse of the snake for her by making herself look weak, and then
I don't
that's
think
why
it's
she smiled like this.
that like premeditated.
Yeah, it is not. I know, but
I my takeaway was more so we're getting kind of a flash of like she enjoys the feeling that she's getting, I guess.
yeah,
Is
that
how I
makes more
took
sense.
it.
Never mind me. That makes more sense.
I
Alright.
could be off too. That's just kind of what the vibe gave me.
Yeah, of course, I won't confirm or deny this, but I do want to say though that you should be more confident in your theories. And oh, holy shit, bad man! I'm sorry for pissing you off. I didn't mean to. For you, Kiwi, for this particular arc, no matter how weird or maybe illogical some of your theories might be, I want you to trust your way of thinking more.
Yeah.
Because this is literally Nadeko's arc, and nobody understands Nadeko as well as you do. Like, even if you don't think that's the way, I really genuinely believe that you fully understand what's going on here in Nadeko's mind.
I'm done though. You have too much trust in me.
Do you think
I'm
Nadeko's smart?
No, Nadeko is gullible, but you know.
Okay. Well, of course, you can just take my words with a grain of salt. Maybe I'm just trying to mislead you. I don't know. Of course. Oh, I do
Maybe you're
apologize
just
if the
confirming.
Batman is loud.
Maybe you're just confirming my theory about Snake manipulating Nadeko to make herself seem like a victim, and then using Kurumi to find his body. I don't think that's the point, though. I don't think that will happen.
Well, of course, I wouldn't say it if it was like going to confirm your theory. I'm
I
simply
think
just saying that you should
ultimately
trust yourself
she
more.
is going to use Kurumi. It's just a matter of how premeditated that action is for me, I guess.
What's interesting though is that we do see another scene here where they go to the same camera filter, where of course it's Shinobu shaking her down right here, where they mention that she is more of a monster than even aberrations are. And what they call you in Japanese is not fiendish, but devilish. Are these strawberries? I don't know. I think they're strawberries.
Raspberries.
Yeah, they kind of look like raspberries, but maybe they're meant to be strawberries.
They're
We
too
do-
big.
It's hard
They're
to tell.
too big.
Yeah,
They're too big to be raspberries, and they like
You can
like
get
those
big raspberries.
blue.
right.
They have
Well-
strawberry leaves, though.
Yeah,
What do you think
that's what I was
raspberries look
thinking.
like?
Maybe there might be some meaning behind that. I've never actually done research into that. However, I do remember that we see, very particularly within Nadeko's room, They always cut to that one camera angle that shows the plant in her room.
I can guarantee they're raspberry.
Right. I mean, we can look up the meaning behind them. Yeah, this particular shot.
Yeah, see,
Where-
it's strawberries.
No, it's not. Here, look. This is a raspberry plant. They're raspberries.
Yeah, that very much does look like a raspberry. Right. Is there any sort of meaning behind raspberries? I don't know. They're pretty
Meaning
good fruits.
Behind raspberry.
And if it's not raspberries, then maybe check strawberries. I don't know.
I'm checking the Japanese culture. Checking Japanese culture.
Yeah.
Just
but
standard
they're-
raspberry means inherent femininity, creativity, maternity, love, and kindness. It's a delicate fruit. It symbolizes gentleness and fragility.
Yeah, they're raspberries. I think, yeah, that's spot on actually. All right, I'm not going to elaborate because to elaborate on that I would have to spoil stuff. But yeah, I understand now.
So basically, it's saying like she's deciding to take the image of being like fragile, feminine, and weak, take it into herself and be that, maybe because she's like gray. I'll say gray because I can't say the colors. The
Yeah.
raspberries are very much colorful, so maybe that's the meaning. Maybe.
Maybe. Who knows? Only I do, and maybe the viewers. All right, let me think. Is there something else that I should mention for this episode? Just that Shinobu is freaking awesome.
Shinobu's the best, yeah.
I just love how Shinobu just comes out here, gets hit punch. She knocks out Koyomi and then KOs Nadeko and then leaves.
Yeah, I mean, Koyomi would have been in really big bad trouble if she didn't do that. She saved him.
It's great how their relationship has developed, of course.
Yeah.
But I also kind of feel like she kind of stole the show at the end here. Even though, like,
Yeah.
Shinobu only comes out for, like, what, 5 minutes?
It's perfect,
Nadeko's 20 minutes. But yeah, it's great to see her again, especially after the last arc. Is there anything else that you want to add about your arc, Nadeko?
No.
Okay. I will do my best.
I'm greatly offended. I'll go on Twitter and tweet about it.
Oh my god. I'm going to do my best to cut up a small little compilation of Nadeko noises. And then I'll probably post a short of it or something. I don't know. We'll see. But alright guys, if you made it to this part of the video, well, thank you so much for watching. It was a really long and kind of interesting discussion. I'm looking
sorry
forward to
about
how
my
this is
rants.
going to develop. No.
Yes.
It was completely fine. It was in order to set up the context for the rest of the discussion anyways. And talking about you is also basically talking about the episode. But yeah,
Thank you, community, and you're so kind.
of course I am. If you made it to this part of the episode, once again, thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. Later, dudes.
Bye.
Wait, wouldn't you be a Laragi Nichan because you're a mix between Shinjuku Harden and Laragi, and that's why you have the last name Laragi? Oh, bye bye.